Hi, I'm Scott Templeton, and today I have the privilege of interviewing 9-time welterweight champion with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Matt Hughes. How you doing?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good, 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 good. So you got a lot of exciting things going on, you know, in your life. You've added a new crown to your title and new dad, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
2 months ago, we had a little girl, Caitlin May Hughes, and my wife was nice enough to let her last name be Hughes, and that's all I got to pick out for her name. So she picked out the first in the middle, Caitlin May, and she's doing good. She's sleeping.
Is that right?
Starting to sleep through the nights, which you know is big for a kid. You know, you finally get some sleep. So
right.
It's good. It's good around the Hughes house.
Now, how are you trying to balance that out? Is that kind of what you're searching for now?
Well, I've been doing a lot of training at Germany Horn, so I've been gone. But when I'm home and I can, I like to take care of the kids as much as I can. But I mean, my wife and I both know that fighting is what I do for a living, and that's how we put food on the table, clothes on the kids. So. There's some times where I gotta be away. But one thing, I've got a great wife. She's really good. She's a great. I would say she's a great wife and even better mother. To the kids. So it's one thing where I don't have to worry when I go train or do something, sit here with you. I don't have to worry about the kids because they're well taken care of.
Right. Now your kids. You have 3 kids, correct?
4 kids. When I married my wife, we both brought a boy in the relationship. So 2 boys, and then I had 2 with my wife, 2 girls. So
now, do they understand what Dad does for a living? I mean, do they care?
I think they like it. My 10-year-old boy and my 8-year-old boy, they both know.
That's got to be cool, right?
They know what's going on,
right.
And my 3.5-year-old girl, she walks around with my action figure, so she plays with Daddy all the time,
Right.
But of course,
that's cool.
The 2-month-old has no idea what's going on.
Right, right. Now, are you seeing any inclination with your boys? Are they looking to train, or what's your take on that? Do you start them early on? You put them in a particular art?
Well, my 10-year-old boy, just not aggressive, so he likes to fish, he likes to play basketball and baseball and some stuff like that, but it doesn't want really anything to do with wrestling, and that's fine. My 8-year-old boy, he's a lot like me.
Oh, is that right?
And he's into
a little
wrestling.
Ornery, huh?
He might be.
I've heard that.
But he'll do something competitive and something aggressive.
Right.
I really think so. My 3.5-year-old daughter, she's looking like she's going to be a little bit aggressive and,
is that right?
and a little athlete too. But I'm the type of parent where I'll try and guide my kids. I think wrestling's been very good for me.
Right.
It teaches a lot of discipline. So I'll try and guide my kids to wrestle. But if they don't want to wrestle, they're not going to.
Right. Right. Now, we've seen in the martial art industry a resurgence of activity in wrestling. And a lot of schools are now even implementing wrestling into martial arts schools. But the guys that are moving forward and growing their schools are considering American wrestling and American martial art. That's not very far off, right?
Well, I've always considered wrestling an American martial art.
Right.
It just teaches you so much control.
Right.
As you know, Scotty, the wrestler gets to decide where the fight's going to be fought at.
Right.
If I'm fighting a good striker, I'll use my wrestling offensively, take my opponent off his feet, and beat him on the ground. If I'm fighting a good jiu-jitsu artist with limited stand-up, I'll use my wrestling defensively, keep my opponent on his feet, and try and outstrike him there. So,
right.
The wrestler gets to decide where the battle's at.
Now, is that what you would contribute to the longevity of your participation in the sport, being able to control the range instead of just sitting there banging?
Definitely. If I ever get in trouble on my feet where I want to take somebody down, I always, think I've got the ability to take my opponent off his feet and put him on the ground.
Right. Yeah, it's no better example than Randy Couture, right?
Great at what he does. Great at what he's very good at pressuring his opponents up against the fence and then working his takedowns off the fence. Which is good for him.
Right. Is that kind of now what you're doing? I mean, you've switched up your stance a little bit, going lefty. What's your philosophy on that?
Well, I really switched up my stance going southpaw, so I was moving to get away from Matt Serra's big right hand. Okay. So I was really more of a figuring out which pocket I wanted to be in, and we thought southpaw would be a good style against Matt Serra. But I like it. I was born and raised for a little while left-handed. And then my mom she changed me.
Really?
Yeah, she didn't want me having to have a different pair of scissors.
Slapping with
She didn't want me to drag them over my ink with my left hand.
So you're kind of ambidextrous a little bit?
I am.
Really?
I still do things left-handed, but so it wasn't a big deal. I started fighting southpaw when I first started, but that's because I wrestled all through my high school and college career as a left-handed person. So easy transition to go back to southpaw.